How we doing, everyone? Welcome to another edition of FSI's NASCAR DFS Pick Show. I am your host, TK Nation 47, joined by Mega Roller 31. I have made my return. Mega, thank you for picking up the truck video yesterday, this morning solo for the truck race that is currently still airing after a long, lengthy red flag power outage for a technology event. It's kind of crazy to see the power go out in, the 20th century. Anyway,
and a track called Worldwide Technology Raceway too.
Yeah, I think that's what I was trying to think of, but yeah, that's silly. Anyway, we're here to talk about the Xfinity race for tomorrow's race of the New Holland 250 at Michigan International Speedway. We haven't been here in a while with the Xfinity cars. Mega, give us a little bit of a breakdown. Short breakdown about what to expect and how we went about doing our research for this evening.
Well, I thought it'd be very easy. Like, oh, hey, you know what? It's Michigan. So, I'll just plug in the 2020 data. I'll look at similar tracks and we'll be good to go. They didn't race here last year. It's been 2019. A lot of the people haven't been in the series since then. And some of them were pretty bad when they raced back in 2019. So throw that out the window. So like, okay, no problem. Kansas is very similar to Michigan. So we'll just use the Kansas data. Well, they didn't race at Kansas yet this year. So can't use that one. I don't even know if they're ever racing. So that gives me Phoenix. It gives me Homestead. It gives me Texas. It gives me Atlanta. I think Las Vegas is the last track that's closest to this. So I use that as the biggest point of data, but I used all these tracks. They're similar. I know this is a 2 mile. They're more like half mile and half tracks. I know there's different tire wear and stuff. So it's a whole potpourri, but I think it was enough to give me an idea of, speed for, where these cars could end up. Plus we've got, I believe, 5 weeks to the playoffs. So, there'll be people jockeying for position. I think there's only like 2 guys really below the cut line, which would be Ryan Sieg and Brandon Brown, that actually have a legitimate shot within 100 points. But anything could happen because you could have like an Alex LeBay or a John Williams or a Brett Moffitt win a race and actually backdoor their way in and take a spot from one of these other guys. So
yeah, always in play here for NASCAR when it comes down to the final races before the playoff events. I have personally been to this Michigan track in my lifetime. I was there the year Dale Jr., who was my favorite driver of all time. His last race at Michigan, I was there. Kyle Larson won. It was just really cool to see Dale in the Mountain Dew paint scheme one last time, at Michigan. And But, that was when Larson was with Chip Ganassi, and he dominated that race, absolutely stole the show from start to finish. So preview to the Cup video, I'm assuming Kyle Larson will be brought up and talked about. But what I saw from the track is that it's a big 2 mile track. I think Texas was a really good comparison. I think of Auto Club too, the track out there in California.
They didn't race there in a couple of years either. So
yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Xfinity, when it comes to Xfinity race, there isn't much to pull from for a track like this. I think there's going to be some questions about equipment, because speed is the name of the game here at Michigan. This is some of the fastest laps that we've seen, or that we will see from the Xfinity cars. So I think equipment is probably going to be a big factor tomorrow. It certainly came to my mind when I thought about, the Xfinity race at Michigan. That being said, we have, some stuff to go on here. Let's get into the picks. Starting out on the pole, we have Austin Cindric in the 22 Team Penske, the favorite for the championship. What is your thoughts on Cindric?
Really like him. 125 laps, so we're getting up there. We had all these road courses where we only had like maybe 50, 60, 70 laps. So there are some dominator points back in play and fastest lap points back in play here. Cindric's locked into the playoffs. I think looking at the guys that are up around him, I don't think AJ Allmendinger, who's starting second, is gonna get out ahead of him. It's not really his style track, even though he has done well on different types of tracks this year. I think Cindric is super aggressive. He'll have the right setup. He'll get out there and he'll lead for quite a bit.
Yeah, I certainly would agree and think he's a strong cash play heading into tomorrow.
Yeah,
Even at his,
I have him as one of my 3 prime plays right now, so I might rethink it over tonight. But I think that he's going to be one of the first guys I put in my cash lineup, and in 10K, that's a really good price too.
Yeah, we don't have Kyle Busch in this race. We don't have. Well, we do have some Cup drivers to talk about.
Yeah, you get 2 Cup drivers, and you have Ty Gibbs, and I think that's just some like place differential that's like 1,000 more than him. I think Cindric is very underpriced for his talent.
Yeah, and that's the thing. 10K jumps off the page for me for a guy that I think will dominate, the majority of the laps. That's what we're looking for. Place differential is nice, but we're going to get a lot of fast laps here, and we're going to get a lot of laps led. And Cindric's certainly going to be, one of the main focal points of the guys starting inside the top 10. Next up, we have AJ Allmendinger. As you had said, he is starting second, coming off of a Cup win for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, whatever you call it last week. AJ Allmendinger, congrats to him though for winning that race. He is 8,900 here for the Xfinity at Michigan. Could be riding high off the win last week. I could see maybe him contending, but I could also see him taking a back seat to Cindric. And I don't know, I'm kind of torn on what to do with AJ.
Yeah, same here. I have him as a cash play. I like the price here, and it's kind of a 50-50 shot of who gets out here. But I think in the range of outcomes that Cindric definitely would probably be more likely to. So it's not a bad price. I think he can get up here, but if he doesn't lead some laps or get fastest laps, and he does like fall back to like 10th, then you're starting to lose points there. Losing points at 89 is not as bad as losing points at 10K, but still, I think it's a bit risky.
Yeah, this play I'm definitely not 100% on yet, and I think by tomorrow I think I'll have a better answer with maybe some reports from the pits, just a better feel after I look over it 100 times. Next up, we have Justin Haley starting third. 8,700 is not a terrible price tag for a driver that's racing really well. I just worry he's starting a little bit too far ahead behind 2 guys that I think are far too strong for Haley to overcome. So I'm kind of on the fence, and I'm kind of falling off this fence for Justin Haley.
Yep, GPP. He's firmly into the playoffs, and I could see him in the top 5, but I don't think that he gets any dominator points or has a shot to win here unless Cindric and Allmendinger take each other out, which has happened quite a few times.
Yeah,
but
right.
On a road course.
More, this isn't. We don't have a giant speed bump in the middle of the racetrack this week. So Justin Haley, gonna have to. He's GPP to fade for me. Next up, we have Noah Gragson starting fourth. 9K for the wild card himself. He seems to be doing okay lately. I'm just waiting for the bottom to drop out.
He's been consistently in the top 10. He's always a GPP just because he's overly aggressive, but he has the car. I dare say, has the talent, but he's always like the first guy in my GPP lineups. You guys all know that from if you've watched these videos before. So I'm never going to play him in cash. He'll be in my GPP lineup, and I'll move on.
Yeah, I certainly think he has the talent. Whether or not he has the right setup is another story. Next up, we have Justin Allgaier at 10-2. Justin Allgaier, really strong driver on the 1.5 mile, high tire wear tracks. The 2 mile, I could see Allgaier being a factor into tomorrow's race. I certainly don't mind him. I think I'm going to have exposure to him, and maybe is a GPP thought for me tomorrow. Justin Allgaier. I like this play here at the starting 5th.
Yeah, I mean, he's locked into the playoffs. I think he can finish in the top 5. I have him finishing 6th. The price is a little bit too high. So I think he's more a pivot off of Cindric. He's $200 more. I can see playing him in cash. I don't think I'm really interested unless I find a lot of value plays I like. Maybe I'll pair him with Grayson and hope that the two of them get a little bit of place differential and some dominator points. But I still think it's more contrarian than the safest way to go.
Fair to say. Next up, we have Harrison Burton in the 9,600. Not really feeling this play myself. What are your thoughts?
I'm listed as a fade. I like Harrison Burton. Think he's a decent driver, but you're looking at his composite speed here as like 11th. So I don't think he finished. I think he finishes right outside the top 10. I don't see him leading laps or getting fast laps. Here I think his cushion in the playoffs is decent enough that he doesn't really have to worry if somebody wins a race that he's not going to get in. Grayson's that's like probably not really in the bubble, but I think he's even far enough in. So yeah, not interested in him.
Right on. Next up, we have Daniel Hamrick, 9,800 starting 7. Excuse me. What are your thoughts on Mr. Hamrick?
The data loves him. Has him finishing first.
Yeah, I see that.
Phoenix 5.1, Homestead 7.6, Texas 4.2, Atlanta 5, and then Las Vegas like 2. Like he has the numbers. He just can never seal the deal. So I mean, I don't think he's
circle this guy though.
Yeah. I think he's a GP. I think he can finish in the top 5. I think there's some place differential there. He's another one that hasn't won, so he's not locked into the playoffs, but I think he's far enough, has done well enough this season that he's gonna be there. I'm thinking more GPP at 9.8. Definitely someone to watch, but I don't think I'll play him in cash.
You know what? I'm gonna look up right now. What is Daniel Hamrick's odds to win? Oh, come on.
Probably pretty far because he's never won a race. He's like been the bridesmaid all these times and never has won a race.
What is the race called tomorrow? Oh, what is it? The New Holland. Yeah. Bear with me here, listeners, while they
make hay balers. Well, he looks that up. I'll move on to Riley Hurst. Who's another perennial GPP play. The guy took over Chase Briscoe's car last year. He obviously doesn't have Chase Briscoe's talent. The car's decent, the team's decent. I have him finishing 18th, so I don't know if he can stay in the top 10. He has had a lot of DNFs this year, so not super interested. And he's one of the guys that's actually on the bubble here too, that somebody could overtake. He's in the bottom 3 of the 12, so he's in either 10th, 11th, or 12th place.
So the books are pretty smart, and they're really on this right here. Daniel Hamrick's only plus 750, 4th lowest odds to win the race, having never won one, by the way. I think I found my start to GPP lineups going with Daniel Hamrick. Yeah, and you spoke on Mr. Herbst. Next up, we have Snyder, Richard Childress Racing, 7,700.
He's
he's not bad on the mile and a half.
More super speedway guy.
I'm
as a
this is similar to super speedway though. This is close to it.
True. I have him. Even if I take the 26 out in Las Vegas, I still have him in the teens. I don't see him finishing in the top 10. I see probably 3 or 4 guys that can get ahead of him.
I agree.
So I just fear he's going to finish like 15th or so. He's not going to, 7-7 is not a bad price, but I think he might lose a couple points there. So I'm passing on him. If he was starting like 15th, I would take him.
Yeah, we need Myatt Snyder to, have a couple bad finishes before Talladega. And then when we get him at Talladega, we can get him starting, in that 20s, high teens and 20s, and he'd be a perfect play.
But the other thing that really worries me about him is that he might not be gunning to win the race because he's already locked into the playoffs. He has a win. So he could be
Right.
chasing stage points, which actually give you points once you get into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then he could be bailing or just, not pushing it too hard to the end to make sure he preserves a certain car, for a certain track down the line for the playoffs. So that makes a lot of sense. Ty Gibbs starting 5th. Joe Gibbs Racing, 11K. Yeah, just a dominant driver. Daddy's money is, or what is it? Uncle's money, or is it?
Isn't it? I think it's his grandson.
Grandson, grandpa's dad. Okay, grandpa money is really worked its wonders this year. Ty Gibbs, your thoughts? Zane Smith on pit road. What the hell? Oh, sorry. He's
Back to me.
Net down. Oh, it's the end of stage 2, I think.
It's a children's show. Just make sure you. But
all right, anyways. Go ahead. Ty Gibbs.
Ty Gibbs, I like him. He ran the ARCA race today and he won it. So he's actually seen this track. He's got some experience on it. He and Sam Mayer finished 4th, and then there's the rest of the normal ARCA guys like Drew Dollar and people that you're not going to see in Xfinity yet, maybe next year. So I like him. 11K is a little bit high, but he is 10th place or starting position. So there's some place differential there. So I can see playing him in cash. I don't think he's an absolute stone cold lock, but I think he's never seen this track before besides the ARCA. So I think he's okay.
Yeah. Ty Gibbs probably in lineups tomorrow. Just how much and where, in what spots. We'll have to determine that. Next up, we have Jeremy Clements starting 11th, 6,800. Is he starting too far forward?
Yeah, I miss a fade, even though he's on the he's in the playoffs right now. Like I said, he's either 10th, 11th, or 12th. I didn't rank him. I just color coded him just so I could know. So he's at risk of not making the playoffs if you have some outlier winners in the next 5 races. So it's do or die, but then again, are we conservative just to try to hold our position? We might get more desperate swinging for the fences a couple more races in, but really not about an 18th running position. So 11th, I think he is starting too high. So I think he'll finish in the top 20, but I think close to the top 10's not likely.
Agreed. Next up, we have Jeb Burton, Collin Racing, 8,300. I could see this play. 8,300 is cheap enough for me.
Yeah, he's locked into the playoffs, but I think that he's got top 10 upside with his team and car. I have him finishing 9th currently. So I think you can play him in cash. 83 definitely is a great price. So yeah, not super in love with it, but I think, the play makes sense.
All right. Next up, we have Alex LeBay and Josh Williams.
The next 3, just 3 strikes.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Landon Castle is extremely too high price.
Josh Williams. Yeah. We resurrected Josh Williams' career for the last couple of races.
Yes,
but now he's starting to high because of it. Even though his price is decent, there's no way that he's finishing in the top 15 in this race. He's going to finish 25th. No. And so LeBay, no, it's not a road course. Williams, no. Castle, no.
We gotta keep getting Josh Williams right. We owe it to him. So we're gonna skip you this week. So get all your wrecks out this week. Next up, we have Sam Mayer in that 8 car Junior Motorsports. Or no, is he in that 8 or the 1?
He's in the 8. Barry's Arnett's still out. Barry is filling in for him.
Okay.
Barry
so Mayer in the 8
next year. So I don't know if Mayer's moving into the 1 or what's going on with that, but I saw something that Barry's locked into the 8 for the full season next year.
Yeah, you would think that they would start, transitioning Mayer to the 1 team in preparation.
Well, and that's really close on the cups of the playoff. The more races he doesn't race, the more he's going to fall out. But he does have the win equity, especially you love these Junior Motorsports cars at
Mhm.
like Talladega and Daytona. So, he could potentially get a win there and get himself into the playoffs.
Makes sense. Okay. Yeah, Mayer 8,500. It's not a terrible price tag. 16th is a little high, but I'm not scared of it for that price tag.
Yeah, he started off bad. He's getting better in his rookie campaign. Yeah. His first races were abysmal. Maybe it was bad luck. Maybe it was just the yips. Maybe it was just nerves. He has gotten better. Atlanta, his average running position was 14.3. It's the only track we really have that's comparable. So if he can finish in the top 15, I think he's okay.
Yep, pretty much. Barry in the one car, 9,200. I think this price tag's a little too expensive.
Yeah,
but I think he's got good equipment here. I consider him a decent GPP play.
Yeah, and he's consistently been in the top 10 this year in Xfinity. Yep. So
yeah,
even won a race. So he's the tragic one that they gave like the first road course off, so he doesn't qualify as a full timer. He can't compete for the title or rookie of the year or anything. I don't think so. Yeah, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah, he's a solid play tomorrow. I think GPP for sure. Next up, we have Tommy Joe Martins, 44, starting 18th. He is 5,700.
He's almost in the same situation as Austin Wayne Self was in the truck race. These guys like mirror each other. They're like, I think it's the same person. True.
Have we seen them in the same room?
I don't know. Maybe they used to mirror like Parent Trap or something, but
I don't mind him in this spot.
Yeah, GPP only with the price, but I still think it's a little bit too high. I think he finishes like in the top 25, but the top 20 might be a stretch.
Agreed. Jade Buford next up in the 48, starting 19th, 5,500. I think this is too far ahead.
Yeah, I think he's starting too high up.
Yeah.
So I'm fading.
Brett Moffitt. Yeah, Brett Moffitt in the 02, 8,100. Similar to Sam Mayer, my thoughts here. Like, I think he's a decent GPP play if he can finish inside the top 15. I'm just weary of Young Motorsports.
It's not Young, it's R.
R. Okay.
Yeah.
Young trucks.
Yeah, they're actually a solid program. Moffitt, there were several races where he was starting like 10th, and I was just like, no way he finished in the top 10, and he's held it throughout the race. So all his eggs are in this basket. 81's a little bit, but for cash, I'm not saying he's a priority, but I'm saying I think he's playable. I think he definitely has top 15, maybe even top 10 upside.
Sold me. All right, next up we have Cal Witherman, 4,700 in the 47 car, starting 21st.
Mike Harmon.
And we are out on the 47. Next up, we have Tyler Reddick. Here is where it starts. Here's where conversations are starting here. He is racing for the same motorsports as Brett Moffitt in the 23, 10-5. I am more inclined to play Reddick than I am the guy we'll talk about later.
I don't know. I don't think there's an extra groove with this one. I think you'd actually have to win the race to pay off his place. I know there's some place differential there, but
oh, it's GPP. I certainly rather play Cindric and Hamrick and heck, even maybe Gregson and Allgaier. But Tyler Reddick, I think if I'm trying to go for place differential, I actually like this car more so than I do the other one, because the other one, if we want to just skip ahead, Bubba Wallace is starting 36th in the Hattori Racing Enterprises car, 61. I believe that is Timmy Hill's typical ride.
Yeah.
Am I right on that? Yeah. But his price tag, 11.5, is just a zero touch zone for me.
I don't know. The Hattori car is not bad. It's got speed.
It's not a top 15 car, though.
I don't know.
All right. Okay.
I think you can get into the top 10.
I don't think so. I don't think Bubba's that good of a driver anyway.
I think he is. I think, come on.
Put him in, if you put him in the
Ryan Preece dominated a truck.
That's true. But that was his like bread and butter, though. That was a small track.
What is Bubba's bread and butter?
Not Michigan.
Okay.
I don't know.
Think
Not
we
any
found,
race.
think
Not
we,
any race.
think we found her. You know, I'm the Bubba Whisperer, and I think he makes value here. I think he could. I think
How?
5.5x.
Top five?
No, top 10. I haven't finishing
Top 10,
10.
5.5x.
I haven't finishing
I
10
don't. I don't know.
with
Even
62
in
DK points.
Timmy Hill's car, even in the Hattori car,
Look at
it's
it this way.
11.5.
He doesn't.
You have to play Bubba and then like who? Hamrick? You go straight to Hamrick? If you start off your lineup with Bubba, then you got to play.
No, because my 2
range.
prime values are coming up. So go back up to Reddick and
all right. We jumped ahead and now we're going to rewind. Now we're going to starting in the 23rd spot. We have Ryan Sieg, 7,400.
If you take out the 29th in Vegas, he's actually not been too bad. So I think he's a GPP play. He's on the outside looking in, but he's one that has like all these weird pit strategies. So he's boomer best because someday they're actually going to nail it and they're going to zig when everybody else zags and they're going to win a race. But usually he zigs, everybody else zags, and he's left in the dust. So GPP.
I don't mind the price tag. Yeah, GPP. Right. Because of those reasons stated. Next up, we have Brandon Jones. In the 19 Joe Gibbs Racing Machine, 9,400. I do like Brandon Jones at a track like this. He doesn't have to get close to the wall. He can keep his foot down on the pedal. He doesn't have to brake and turn as much as he usually does.
In Vegas,
I guess
this
is a tailor-made Brandon Jones track.
Yeah,
be fast, pass people on the inside.
If he doesn't wreck, so.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. All he has to do is keep his foot down, pass on the inside, and then, not put the car in the wall.
His car should be faster than
and his car should be and his car should be automatically fast. So yeah, I like Brandon Jones in this spot. I think he was actually my, believe it or not, guy in cash. When I saw the sheet, I was like, okay, Brandon Jones looks pretty like this is a Brandon Jones spot. Like there's only like 2 or 3 instances on the year where you're like, okay, I get to play Brandon Jones this week. Like, let's enjoy this roller coaster. And this is going to be it. This is a downhill Brandon Jones race. Next up, we have Brandon Brown, another guy I had circled 7,600.
Yeah. I think he's a cash play here. If you throw out the 36 at Phoenix where he got wrecked, wasn't his fault. This guy's a top 15 driver week in and week out for his own, team, but he's a good driver. He struggled a little bit recently on the road races. That's why he's down a bit, but I think he returns to form here and he gets about 10 race differential points for 7,600. That's decent.
Yep, all in on that. Next up, we have Massey, Mills. Where any love for those 3?
No, I think they're all fades. They're guys that should be in the 30s that are starting in the 20s.
Yep, because of the road course mix-ups. We have Collin Garrett, Sam Hunt Racing in the 26. Any information on this driver?
He's raced on 2 intermediate tracks. He's raced on several intermediate tracks, and his average running position is 15th. He's had like a 14, 16, 16, 14, 15. So he's pretty decent there. The car's not bad. It finished in close to the top 15. I think the last race was New Hampshire. I think Godovic drove it. So he's one of my prime plays down here just because I think with the car and the driver, he can get up to the top 20. I think he can get up, past a lot of these guys for 6K. I think, I think my model's a little aggressive. It has him 14. It has him at like 7X, but even if he just hits the top 20, that's still going to give you a lot of return on investment.
I am in, sir. Did not know much about him heading into this. 6K. All right, let's do it. Next up, we have Jeffrey Earnhardt, 6,100. Yeah,
he doesn't have the speed this year.
No. gave up on this guy a long time ago. Next up, we have Jordan Anderson. 7,200 is crazy for this price tag.
Yeah, true. And he's obviously the truck race didn't work out.
Yeah, he's on stuck on pit road with the hood up.
Yes, so he can definitely get on the plane and get to this track earlier. You know, it's not.
Well, that's true.
For him.
If he is out, that is true. Yeah. Well, I mean, technically, the race should be ending at this time anyway.
But here's the power outages. Here's the problem: his car's fast, but not when he is in it.
Right.
His average running condition is like 38.7. That's horrible.
Yeah, stick to owning the car.
Yes.
All right, so we are out. That is too high of a price tag. Next up, we have Joe Groff Jr. 52. Yeah. We're starting 32nd, not 22nd.
Yeah. I think you can get a couple, like GPP if he fits. Last guy in. Don't hate it.
Yeah. He's so.
Yeah.
Jesse Little 5K.
This is where we play Jesse Little.
Yo, okay.
This is where we played Jesse Little last year, and like
99 BJ McLeod though.
Yeah, he switched. It's not the 78 though. So is this a promotion or a demotion? Because Massey's in the 78.
I don't know. Right. Yeah.
But look at his numbers: 30, 33, 29, 29, 29. Like there's 137 in there. I think he can finish where he starts, at least if you're trying to get some of these 10K guys in. There's one of the other value plays.
I guess he would be the best option of the punts.
No,
that's fair.
No, the two guys below him, Vargas, I think at 48 is about equal. I think he has more upside, but Little would be the second one.
All righty. Next up, we have
Caesar
Baccarella, the 90 DGM Racing Machine 5,300. I think he'd be okay here.
Yeah, I have him as a GPP. I think really not a ton of experience. 27 is an average running position composite. So there's a little bit of place differential there. 53 is not a bad price. So I'm okay. I just think like Little or Vargas, I trust them a little bit more because I've seen more of them.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we have Vargas 4,800, as you've been talking about. I think we're both going to be playing a little bit of Ryan Vargas tomorrow. It sounds like starting in the 35th spot. I think that's a decent starting position. Little, not much is going to hurt you for that price tag and starting spot. I mean, if he parks it, sure, but still, you got to pay up for what you wanted to pay up for.
Right.
Yeah. And that leads us to Bubba Wallace, where I am.
You're out, man. We can move on.
Let's just. I have two lineups that I play in, some of the multipliers, double ups, and like the main GPP, and then I have like my 50 cent, 150 max. I usually do half of that, or maybe only like 60 lineups for that, and he will be in that MME. I'll have exposure, but he will probably be a high dollar, as I like to say, fade, which is fair. You could understand it at 11.5. If I don't think he finishes inside the top 10 or even top 15, then I don't think he's worth the price, which I don't, because I don't think Bubba Wallace is a good driver.
Well,
Denny Hamlin's going to kick him out of the 23. Insert Eric Jones and then give Bubba Wallace back the ride he deserves, and that's Richard Petty's car. Because I'm tired of trying to play Eric Jones in that Petty car. It's driving me nuts. All right, that's just a personal thing.
I think Daniel Suarez back in it. He's your boy.
No. Yes, keep him in Trackhouse. I like their – Todd Gilliland hit the wall. All right, that was just – the truck race went from bad to worse. That's like both of the guys in the main GPP lineup I had. Just every time I look over, Austin Hill in the grass. Okay, let's wrap this up. Next up, we have David Starr.
No. Bad car, bad driver.
All right, moving on. No David Starr. Next up, we have Colby Howard, 6,500. I love playing this guy.
Yeah, and he's my third prime player. So I'm going to start my lineups with Garrett, with Howard, and with Cindric. I'm going to try to put Bubba in and see what two drivers I have left, and that's what's going to really determine if I play Bubba in my lineup or not. Curry, I think, is a GPP play down here. He really can't go. I don't think he's Gary Golden or Gray Golden or Gray Poupon or whoever that guy is. Usually we tell you to play the 40th place driver because there's no place to go but he's 6,300, or I take the guy at 5,400 and hope he beats the 40th place driver. Even if he loses the one position, he's going to break even. So, cause he's going to lose 1 point for going backwards, and he's going to get 1 point for finishing 40th. So you lose nothing.
Right. So, next up we have Bailey Curry in the 74.
We're done.
We're done here.
Yes.
All right. Then can I tell you about the wreck that happened in truck? I think Hunter Nemechek was wrapped up in it too, and Ty Majeski. So our night's done.
No, that's my cash line of my GPP. I think still is going strong.
Yeah, it was literally like 5 or 6 cars in the front of the pack here. So Majeski into the wall, Austin Hill. I believe 26 is Purdy. All right. Great Galding, we're done. Yeah. All right. So that will wrap things up for truck recap and Xfinity preview. Truck recap simultaneously with the Xfinity preview as we bring you in live reports of our lineups coming to a crashing halt and our Xfinity process being born all in the same moment. And this, my friends,
is NASCAR DFS. For Major League Baseball, because that is saving my night. I was so on with my picks for that today.
Yeah. So that's NASCAR DFS in a nutshell. As one dies, the other one arises. I am your host, TK Nation 47. That was Mega Rule of 31. I hope you enjoyed our tilt and our preview. And Mega will have you for the Cup Series breakdown tomorrow. Both shows will be out tomorrow. So tune into the channel, Fantasy Sports Insight, for both of those shows. Like this video, comment below with questions about the race. We always try to do our best to get to answers as soon as we possibly can. If you want quicker answers for all your questions, you can find our Discord chat, and that will be on our Twitter handle at FSI_DFS. You can get to us quicker and, more questions, whatever you guys have, you can find that Discord and be up to date and up to speed with all of the updates and answers to your questions. Okay, guys, thank you. Mega, thank you. Enjoy your day tomorrow, and good luck, everyone.
Good luck.